books. Hester now has the most career touchdown returns, surpassing Deion Sanders. He and the Falcons also surpassed the Bucs with a ridiculous 56-14 win. Tampa Bay scoring some late touchdowns to avoid a complete shutout. Matt Ryan was 21 of 24, setting a team record. Lovie Smith on the loss.
It's not a whole lot for me to say, really, after a game like that. I'm embarrassed by our play. We failed in all phases. Of course, it starts with coaching. It starts with the head football coach. I thought I had our football team ready to play. Obviously, we weren't ready to play. Again, it was all phases. Couldn't stop them on defense. Couldn't score any points on offense. Special teams. We couldn't get anything done there.
As I was saying, Matt Ryan, 21 of 24, setting a team record for completion percentage. Ryan with a QBR of 99.7. I'm going to give it to Bayless, unless you want to go. Do you want to talk about what happened? Was it just great Atlanta or bad Tampa?
It was bad Tampa.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons are good. They're not that good. They're a very good team. They're back from the standpoint of most of their bodies being healthy, even though Tony Gonzalez is now retired, doing a good job on CBS thus far, by the way. And Roddy White, didn't want to go because he wasn't 100%, which is a different story to broach for another day. This was about Tampa Bay, how pathetic they looked, how awful they looked. It was the kind of performance that made you wonder, why does Lovie Smith have a head coaching job? I'm not saying that is something that we should all feel beyond this week. I'm just saying, as you watch that game last night and how ill-prepared they appeared to be, it's just one game. In no way am I advocating that Lovie Smith should be fired or anything like that. I'm on the record. He should have been gone from Chicago because he went to the playoffs just 3 times in 9 years, even though one of those appearances was a Super Bowl. But I never said he should never.
Even though he missed with a 10-6.
That's right. But I never said he should never be a head coach again. I just said he shouldn't have been a head coach in Chicago because it was time for a new voice. Just the same way I feel about Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati. But when you get stomped like that, this is your first. This is your new job. You're 0-3. It's your first nationally televised game, and you come out. Look, y'all. These boys were down 35-0 before they got a first down. I'm going to repeat that. They were trailing 35-0 before they got a first down. They were down 49-0 when the starters were pulled midway through the third quarter. They were down 56-0 before Mike Smith just sat there. If there was such a thing as fourth stringers, he put them in. Because, this was so awful, so pathetic that, it's one of those situations where, you go home after a trip. You just need to go home and hide. They need to take a bus and try to disguise you to show up to practice. You don't need to go out to any public restaurants. You just need to hide after a performance like that. It was god awful. It's just that simple. 3 turnovers in a 5.5-minute span. Couldn't hold on to the football. Couldn't defend special teams. Couldn't defend against the pass. And they opened the game marching downfield with such ease. They scored a touchdown and drove about 60 or 70 yards inside of 3 minutes to open the game. Everything about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looked god awful. And like Lovie Smith said, it was coaching just as much as it was anything else. It's just 1 week. It's just one game. I'm quite sure they're going to be better as the season progresses. But it was the kind of performance that made you look at Lovie Smith and was like, you held out for a head coaching job. You got it. Did you really deserve it? That's how bad that performance was.
But you're not suggesting calling for his job.
Not at all. Not at all. It's just one game. It's just one game. But I want to say this, Skip. Game 1. You understand? Game 1, game 2. Who did they go against?
At home, they lost to Carolina and St. Louis.
That's right. Carolina without Cam Newton.
Derek Anderson.
And St. Louis.
Austin Davis.
Who is the quarterback for St. Louis? Who is the quarterback?
He's an undrafted free agent.
Yes. There you go. Bad.
And a walk-on at Southern Mississippi.
A walk-on.
By the way.
A walk-on.
Yeah.
That's what you lost to.
I know. That's true.
Before last night. Wow.
I disagree with your take on Tampa.
Yeah.
Because I believe in Lovie Smith as a head football coach. I respect him, and I felt for him last night. I felt sorry for him last night because you rarely see that happen in a National Football League game. That was the equivalent of what we see Florida State or Alabama do due to some of the early season cupcakes on their schedule, the wipeout games where it's over at halftime. And yet, I can't defend what happened. And I'm the first to tell you that before the season started, I picked Tampa Bay to be a wild card because of Lovie Smith, because I thought he was going to bring some new stability, some bedrock wisdom to a franchise in desperate need of just that, a team that still had talent enough that I thought it would all click together around Lovie's presence and his stability, and that they would take off. And I'm going to give him some breaks here today because, remember, they were playing without arguably their best defensive player, Gerald McCoy. They were playing without their best linebacker, Mason Foster. Already, Adrian Claiborne is on IR and Michael Jenkins is on IR. Those are huge losses for that defense. And when you take Doug Martin out of the offense, who is the spark plug of that offense, it just looks different. It feels different to me. And once they got off wrong last night, it went from bad to worse. And Devin Hester, have you ever been around him a little bit off camera a little bit?
No, never off camera.
Just the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. He's just such a good young man. He's 31 years of age now, but he looks like he's 21, plays like he's 21. He took that game so emotionally because Lovie would never let him play receiver, at least not much. Last year he didn't play at all. So he wanted to show Lovie, watch this, I can play some receiver. And Deion's in the house, your friend Deion.
His mentor.
Guy I cover, his mentor. Yeah. So he wanted to show Deion that I'm going to honor you by breaking your record tonight.
Right. And got flagged for it, which is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Look, I get the rule, but every once in a while you got to take in the circumstance.
Yeah, under those circumstances,
he is honoring
he was allowed
the man.
to.
He is honoring the man whose record he was about to break as he hit the end zone. You just have to let that one go because nobody would have cared if you'd let that one go.
Even the crowd loved it.
Come on, the crowd loved it. By the letter of the law, was it? I don't even know if that's taunting. I guess it qualifies as taunting. But the point is, Devin Hester played possessed last night. And I thought the turning point play of the game, if in fact you can have one in a game that winds up 56-14. But remember the play early? It's only a 7-0 game. And Atlanta fumbles. Mark Barron comes up with the football, and he's running it back. And all of a sudden, Devin Hester tracks him down from behind and strips him. And all of a sudden, the game just goes swoosh because you thought, uh-oh, Tampa's got a chance to get back in the game here. No. That's all she wrote on that one. So in the big picture, I hear what you're saying. It was an embarrassment. It was a humiliation for that franchise. I can't defend the 2 home losses, but look, it's a long season, and I still think this team will slowly turn it around. Maybe my wild card's out the window, but
Lovie can coach.
Yeah.
Lovie knows football. We know that they're going to improve. But the issue is not just an issue of talent. Skip, sometimes it's how you go down. Like, for example, I think Lovie gets far more credit for motivational tactics than he deserves. I find him to be a relatively mild-mannered kind of guy. There is nothing about his personality that moves me, that galvanizes his troops, but he knows what he's doing.
He does.
And I think that, you know, there's something to be said for not being that rah-rah guy. And, you know, really just knowing what you're doing and allowing the team to be as effective as it possibly can be. It's just that was a beat down last night. I know the bodies that you said were gone, and I get it. But that was a beat down.
Now, quick thought on Atlanta. I'm going to remind everyone that in between the shootout that they won over New Orleans in the opening game at home, they went to Cincinnati a week ago.
Lost.
And they lost badly. It was 24-10. Matt Ryan threw 3 interceptions.
Bad day.
It was just one of those days, 24-10. So I'm not going to overreact to what I saw from the Falcons.
I don't think 24-10 is that awful. It just means you had a bad day. It's not like they scored. This is 56, Skip. 56. It was 35-0 before they had a first down.
Head coach Mike Smith saying after the game he knew that Matt Ryan could come back and rebound after the loss you just got done talking about.